Hi, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about Murakami. Yes, Murakami. He's got huge fan following, and we'll talk about one of his books, which many consider to be his masterpiece. It's a book called 1Q84. That's a book. I read an e-version, so that's why I'm sharing this with you. So this is a set of three books trilogy, and mostly it is sold as one volume, and it's a thick book, more than 1,000 pages. I'll come to the book, but few things about Murakami. Uh, Murakami has got fanboys everywhere, so whatever he does, his fans follow that. He publishes a small book, and it is the event of the year. Personally speaking, the way I approach books and reading is that I just read a book which I enjoy. So it could be from a writer who everyone loves, but if the book does not appeal to me, I don't read it, beyond a few pages. So I don't go by reputation, I just go by what the book is doing to me. And it is possible that a book might appeal to me at a later stage, and I may not be ready to appreciate that book at that time. Having said that, I'll come to the book. So 1Q84 actually means 1984 in Japanese language. Those two characters 1Q stand for 1 and 9. So, I mean, if you want to look for references, one can go back to the George Orwell's book 1984. Personally speaking, I don't think it would affect your reading if you have not read 1984 by George Orwell. The book 1Q84 stands on its own. So the book is, I enjoyed reading the book, and I finished it in about 15 days, and I'm a slow reader. So the book can be called a love story. Book also is a thriller, a metaphysical thriller. It has also got elements of magic realism. It has also got elements of science fiction. So it's a combination of all these genres. Personally, I'm not a fan of magic realism. I like my books to be realistic, and even then, I can say that I enjoyed the book. So this book has got two main characters. Uh, One, a man in his early 30s, Tango. He is a mathematics wizard who is an aspiring writer, and he actually teaches at a coaching institute, and he teaches mathematics, but in his spare time he's writing. So that's one character, and the other character is a girl in her late 30s, almost the same age as this character. So the male character is called Tango, and the girl has got this name Emome, if I got it right. Emome, yeah. And so the story, the book begins by the narration of the stories of these two characters. They don't know each other, and you have set of events happening in the life of Tango, and another set of events happening in the life of Emomoy. And you know that at some point uh, they will converge. And yes, I am not going to give any spoilers. If you see the review, you can be rest assured I am not telling you anything that will affect your enjoyment of the book. So this is a build up. The story is happening, and the year is 1984. And typically in Murakami style, there are lots of references to Western classical music, a lot of pop culture references and stuff like that. That's there in plenty in this book also. So as the story develops, there are more characters that are introduced. So there's a third character who comes later in the book. He is a private detective. So these three characters, which are the main characters, and at some point you know that they'll converge. Apart from that, there is a godman who uh, has got his own philosophy, his own way of looking at things. He is also misunderstood. You are presented that Godman in a way that it's up to you to believe which part of him you want to see. Is he an innocent guy or is he a manipulator? So you have to decide for yourself. And then there are a lot of supporting characters. Uh, so the way the book progresses, it's fairly brisk, so you don't get bored, you enjoy it. Volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3, because I read it in one book, I really did not differentiate between the different volumes, though I knew that one volume was ending. But really, you can enjoy the book, uh, complete book, all volumes in one book. Also, I mean, if you read volume 1, you have to read volume 2 and 3. So, having got that out of the way, Murakami has a certain style, which is that, he might take 40 pages to describe one character preparing his breakfast, right? And Murakami can also skip through a very momentous event in the novel in only 2 pages. But that's his genius. He can hold your interest, and I think that's part of the charm of reading Murakami. Um, if I was to look at this book, 1Q84, I think I found it very enjoyable, right? Even if some parts of it seemed a bit stretched, and they also strain your credulity. You actually are not sure if you want to believe it, but it is to the credit of Murakami that he makes everything seem very credible and believable. You actually want to believe it, and that's important for a book. You need to buy into into the characters. You have to buy into the plot and the plot points and the whole drama. So yeah, this book is interesting. It will leave you with a lot of thoughts. In terms of premise, the book is every reader will take something out of the book which is different from what other readers take it out. But yes, at a very broad level, it makes you think about your life and also about things that are happening in your life. And is there something else just behind this everyday life that you're missing? Is there something else that's happening, that's going on? What you see, is that the real thing? Or you need to perceive things beyond what is obvious? So it leaves you with that question. It leaves you with some interesting thoughts about relationships, about human motivations, and that is what a good book should do. So I am no one to say that okay, it's a good book. You should read it. I am not gonna say that. Murakami does not need someone like me to endorse him. I think he's got a huge fan following, and I think you should. If you are thinking of reading Murakami, you should consider picking this book. I would recommend, if you ask me. I have not read all his books, but from the books that I have read, I would rank this book on par with Norwegian Wood. So these two books you must read. I also enjoyed Murakami's non-fiction, which was what I talk about when I talk about running, and that's also a brilliant book. You should read that. Also, remember one thing. That's my thumb rule for reading. No matter what others say about a book, if you pick up a book and it's not talking to you, it's not holding your interest beyond 20, 30 pages, then you don't have to persist with it. You just give it up. Maybe at a later stage in life, you can come back to it, or you don't have to come back to it. There are enough books which are out there, and you can probably check them out and read them. So, thank you very much for dropping by and seeing this review. Do comment if you feel like. All right, bye. Have a nice weekend.